It was good. Yeah, well, we had, I think it was crisp. That's why we got through it fairly quickly. Guys executed well. We were in a situational scrimmage, so we did some backed up, did some red zone, did some 2-minute. I thought the guys operated well. There was good energy, things we needed to see. I still think it's good that we have time before we play. I don't think that we're where we want to be now come game time. It was good for camp. We have a shorter camp than we've had in the past, so we're trying to make things up in walkthroughs and those type of things. But energy-wise, solid. Execution, solid. You know, this next week is going to be big for us to get back and just start to get into a normal routine with class, with some scout work, still some good on good, because we're still not completely into that Troy prep at this point. We've got ourselves to work on, and I thought tonight was good. They gave what they needed to, and that's why it was crisp, that's why it was clean. And we'll watch this tape, and then tomorrow we got to clean some things up. And then Sunday we got to fine tune at least the camp part of it, and then we get into this next week, we got to go. You know, it's not cruise time, it is go that Tuesday practice, full pads, and be ready to go out there and play a little bit ahead of schedule for Tuesday and still work on ourselves and some Troy prep.
How much shorter was this part of fall camp than usual, and why was it shorter?
Well, because the new rule, you had 25 practices. We had 29 before, and you know, we used about 28. We had some walkthroughs in there, but you know, it's amazing those 3 practices you miss or 4 practices you miss. Just the situations, the reps, you know, we average about 80, 90 reps of practice. So if you think about that, do the math. You're missing those reps that you got to make up. And so good that you have some players that have played, so you have a little maturity. You got some experience now for the young players. I mean, it goes like this. And you're trying to figure out which one of these young guys are going to step up and be a consistent player, who we're going to be able to use with that redshirt rule, and then still get some of your veteran players the work. Quarterback-wise, I know that. Just being able to throw the ball out there, you're not getting hit, but just getting the reps of throwing, moving in the pocket, those things are important. And when you take away, a couple hundred reps, I think that's pretty significant. Now it's equal for everybody. We're not at a disadvantage. It's just new from the schedule that we've all been working with for so many years.
As usual, got to ask, anybody really catch your eye today?
I thought the guys on defense, I thought Riley Wimpy played well today. I thought the defense overall, there was some turnovers in there. We did some work on special teams. Rob Mahone did some good things on special teams, which was good. I thought Brett threw the ball well. And let's see, what do we have in there? John Hightower, he made a few plays, so it was good to see. Ran the ball decently today. D-line did a good job. So until I watched the tape, nothing, there's a few guys right there I mentioned, but overall the situational stuff, 2-minute, the ball was moved down the field. I thought the red zone defense did well, playing in the red zone, backed up, offense got out, goal was to get a first down. So there was some back and forth today. Transitioning, what I do think, and it's not probably that important to you guys, but how our scouts and how we operate and how we get out there and we get lined up, just actually paying attention in meetings and applying it to the field. I think our guys are doing a good job of that, and that matters. That saves us time, and it lets us know that we're actually dialed in meetings and paying attention.
When we pulled up, we noticed that Tyler was riding around on the bike. Did he do anything significant today?
Oh yeah, he had a turnover. Yeah, he had a turnover for a touchdown. So he got the bike, and that's you guys. I think there's a story on the bike and all that, so you guys have seen it. But yeah, he had a pick for a touchdown today. I think that was the one turnover he had, and then there was a couple others the defense had. So they were flying around. Defense is flying around to the ball, which is what you want. If you're doing that, usually good things happen. If it's a tip ball, his was clean. He drove on it. It was a clean pick for a score, no question about it. So he got the chaos bike today.
From the last scrimmage to this one, where do you guys think you made your biggest strides?
Situational stuff. Yeah, I think we focus on red zone. And that's probably an area too, these situations, you just don't get as many. And so we got to maximize all those reps. I thought the red zone was decent today. It was good to get 2-minute live and get some of that work in. Good to get some backed up work, which doesn't come up very often. And then special teams. Today, the reps that we got in special teams, they were full speed reps. It wasn't live tackling, but we were moving. So the return team got some work, punt team got some work. All specialists, so Joel and Hayden both were perfect. I think Joel was 3 for 3, and Hayden was 4 for 4 on field goals, and Joel kicked a 52-yarder and made that, split it, easy with the distance. So operation-wise that way with just our specialists, really good.
With when Sed came in, it was pretty obvious to you guys that he was going to be pretty able to contribute, pretty early in fall camp. I mean, we've been hearing a lot about John Hightower. I mean, not to compare him, but is he at the point where you guys are expecting him to have a pretty big role for you?
No, he's not where Sed's at right now. Sed, John's got some work to do. He knows that. And, I thought Sed, his mindset, how he came in here, John's done a good job. And it's not a knock on John, just, Sed was a really good player. And John's got a ways to go. And luckily we got some time to keep doing that. I thought he did well today. He got the ball in his hands. He had a big play out there. We had a penalty on it, got called back. But he's doing some things. He's making some really good catches. He's more comfortable in the offense. He knows where to line up. He knows how to come off the ball. He knows how to go up and get it. So he's got those abilities to do that. He's got to get some more reps at it. And, John came in a little bit later too. Sed had a little bit more work than John did. So, and the one thing about Cedric, and I think, Leighton as well, those guys were just film junkies. They're always in there watching tape. And I think that goes, underrated at times. A guy can play and all that, but guys are in there studying. Your Austin Pettises of the world, your Cedric Wilsons, those guys are in there just grinding on tape. And you want to take that next step, you got to do that. So any position, and all those guys, wide receiver, they do a good job in their meetings, but any position on our team, you want to take the next step. You got to get in there on your own. You got to watch tape. And, that's where I think guys on our team, some of our veteran guys do a pretty good job, some of our younger players, you want to be successful, get in there and do the work on the film and make sure that it is purposeful and you come out of there a lot better mentally so you can go out there and practice faster.
Might you use 2 kickers when it comes to the field goals? I mean, Joel seems like
Sure.
he's been your kickoff guy, and you mentioned he hit long one. It
Yeah.
makes sense maybe he could be your long field kicker. Might you be able to?
He was that way last year. We
Right.
had him on the ready for some of those kicks and all that, so that's no different. Yeah, he'll be out there. We got to go out there and make. I think Hayden's capable of it. Joel can make a longer distance field goal, so he's certainly capable of doing that. I thought he kicked really well tonight too. Hayden was on point, and we know he was pretty good last year. Did a good job. Joel was really good today. And I thought Nick Pittman, just the operation, short snap, all those things like that. He was really good.
We talked to Garrett Callingham a little bit earlier this week, and in terms of his kind of selflessness to find and to continue to be willing to accept new roles on the team, and just his commitment to find a way to contribute. I mean, is he a pretty unique guy? I mean,
Yeah.
Is there any guy in the past that you remember that's kind of like him that just continues to try to find a way on the field?
Yeah, we've had guys like him. We're trying to find a way to get him on the field. And he was a quarterback in high school, and he was a receiver, and then he's a stud. Now he's a tight end. The thing about Garrett is whatever we've decided is best for our team, he's been all about that. And I think he's done a good job. He's going to be a good tight end for us. He's still, under-repped. And that's really what it is. I think he's got the physical tools. I think he's got the mentality. He's just under-repped. He just hasn't had those reps that some of the guys in front of him had, like Jake Rowe and some of those guys that came in to play that position. But he works hard at it. That room, talking about film, in our offense, you better be in the film room. If you're not in there every chance you get, we're just not going to be very good at tight end. And I think he understands that better, just now being in it and getting the reps and understanding what it really takes to be a successful tight end in our system. And he's starting to show that. And this next week, we get a little more game plan and all this offense that we put a lot in. Now that starts to tighten down and we can specialize a little bit with some of the positions. That's going to help us, and that's going to help him too. And when he's out there and he knows where he's going, everything's clean, crisp. The guy can go snatch the ball. He can go make plays. He can run. He's a target for the quarterbacks. They really like him. So we'll see how things clean up next week when we simplify a little bit.